see you guys. It's good to be back. A lot of time to reflect and to focus on things that we got to improve on. So it's been time invested with that. Excited for this opportunity. A lot of respect for Coach McGuire and the team that he has and the fight that they've shown and the improvements that they've made. And so it's going to be a challenge, and we're going to be up for it. Today was a good day to get everybody back. I think everyone's fresh and have got a fair amount of juice just coming off of the bye week. There was good work for guys that needed it. There was good rest for guys that we needed to get back. And so I feel good about where all of that's at. Looking forward to the prep for this game. Take any questions that you guys got.
Dave, I saw a note that said Texas Tech has 4 one-score wins this year, like tied for the most in the country. If the game does end up getting to be like a close game, how do you guys, push through and finish it off and make the plays you need to win?
I think it starts with playing 4 quarters. I think it starts there. I think to start fast really means that we're not going to wait and kind of see what new plays they got. We're not going to wait and kind of see what adjustments we have to make. We're not going to wait and kind of see how different this is from what we practice. It means we're going to run through the smoke. And so I think that's something that some guys innately can do. Other guys, we have to teach that. I think to finish strong means we have to, hey, this is what they're doing. These are the adjustments. And the very next series, we have to make that adjustment, I think it's one thing to identify it. I think at times this year we've done that. At other times it's taken too long to do that. And then we have to be able to see it come to fruition the very next series. I think, being in – this is the big leagues, and so the scheme and the mismatches and all of it is happening fast, and we've got to be able to respond fast. So I think if all that happens for 4 quarters, I think we'll be in position to close it out.
What sort of juice did the defense get back over the bye week, knowing Tech has a top 25 overall offense?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of our skill guys back, and so I think a couple guys have been out, and so to have them back, it's been good. Caden is, for example, Simpkins is another one. Carl's been kind of pushing through and just hasn't been healthy. Really since the beginning of the year, and so this last week was really good for him. I think he's feeling the best that he's ever felt. And those 3 guys are pretty integral guys right there, and so to have them back is a good bit. And then I think kind of recentering stuff, and hey, this is the team that we've got. These are the things we're doing well. These are clearly the things we're not doing well, and to kind of readjust, knowing all of that, I think is a plus, and I thought we're able to do that.
Do you still have confidence in these guys? I mean, so much of playing good football is playing with confidence.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that. I think that's something you have to fight for. I think whatever noise there is, whatever critique, however justified, I think on one side of it you understand, and then the other side of it, that's just there's no place for that right here. All we can control is what's right in front of us. And this play, this particular series, this group period, this team period. And so to focus on the focus is a big, big, big emphasis. And I think when you do that, you recognize the talent and the skill that you have and what's possible. And I know our guys still feel that. I can feel the energy. They don't have to use their words as much as just kind of how hard they play and the energy that's out there when they're going.
I know this first half of the season you guys have faced your struggles, but during this bye week, have you kind of reflected and maybe tried to focus on what are the biggest positives in this first half of the season?
I think the positive is that we've got potential to be a really good team. We have talent. I think we've got playmakers on offense. I think there needs to be a consistency, particularly in the run game, and I think those playmakers come to life even more. I think our quarterback play has been a positive. I think our receiver play has been more consistent than it's probably ever been. I think our tight end can be a weapon. I think defensively, our ability to stop the run when our cleats are in the ground has been a positive. I think we got to get more pressure on the quarterback. I think we've got to defend the ball when the ball's in the air. All of those things are going to be severely tested here on Saturday. And so, yeah, I think to see it all, but, it's all connected. And so, the thing about it is if it's a first, second, third, or with Tech, it's going to be a first, second, third, or fourth, downs. There's going to be a stress point on weakness and avoidance of a strength. And so we're going to have to be able to play left-handed at times and improve on these weaknesses that we've shown.
You mentioned the run game. How do you attack that this next week, and is Richard Reese fully healthy there?
He's healthy, yeah. I think, run game-wise, the ability to get as many combos as possible, I think would be a plus, would help us. I think the one-on-one blocks, I think so much of it is kind of a locked zone where we're blocking out on fives techniques, and then what that would mean is we're singling on him, but we're also singled on a three, and we're doing that so that our eyes can be down the field and read, run-pass option out there. And so I think we've struggled on those one-on-ones, and so to be able to have different variations where we can still go down the field but get more combos, more two guys on one guys, I think can help. And then I think the ability to try to be able to get line throws or someone working across the formation, not on the other sideline scrimmage, but on our side, where if something does break down, there's an outlet to it where we can get the ball out quick. I think those are things that we've been working on that I think help alleviate and maybe create some more lanes for the run game.
Dave, 3 years down the road, is there less concern about what Joey knows and some of the other guys on that staff know about your personnel, your schemes, things like that?
I think so. I think, there's enough for us to worry about our stuff, and just kind of playing four quarters and doing the things that it takes to win. I'm impressed with their team. I'm impressed with how they're playing. And you watch their film, they play hard. And so I know it'll be a challenge. It'll be it'll be the best that they got when we get together on Saturday. I know that's going to be the case.
It's kind of cliche, but do you feel like the bye week came at a good time, being able to kind of take a step back and, reflect and then prepare for the back half of the season?
I think it can be if you use it that way. I think, the bye is always hard after a really tough loss because you're just kind of sitting in it, And but I think if you use that feeling to really try to get honest with what needs to improve and how you need to improve it, a lot of times that's maybe way opposite of what you want to believe or thought you were believing or kind of came to believe. And so I think all of those things, if you look in mirrors and stuff, it's kind of hard. And so I think if you do that and you have a chance to get better, then we'll see. I think there's been a fair amount of that going on these last couple of days.
Is there any residual mojo, good feelings from the last time y'all went out to Lubbock a couple years ago?
No, we've watched that game, a couple times, and we've watched last year's game, which was the opposite of that, and I think the things that hold true there are the truths that are evident in both of those games. Is that if we can get ahead of the sticks, their tempo slows down, and we can get them into third and gotta throw situations. I think 2 years ago we were able to do that. Had a bunch of picks. Because it was third and got to throw. Last year we struggled with big plays and we struggled to defend the run, and so we were never really able to get in those situations. And I think that's true with most offenses. It's clearly true with these guys, particularly this year. They're running it more than they usually run it. That is a difference from 2 years ago. Is that there's a fair amount of just throw, and now it's more run. And so I think the opportunity to kind of hone in on that and play complementary football, get the ball back to our offense is clearly there.
Dave, I don't know if it was game plan or what was there, but it seemed like Sawyer threw to more targets. Mm-hmm. Was it good to see guys like Ketron be more involved, I guess?
Mm-hmm. You're talking about in this last game? Yeah. I think a lot of it had to do with just the structure of their play and the drop eight and the zones. And, so say there's a route that's called, And if it's drop 8 or just, zone everywhere, then you kind of find a soft spot and you kind of settle down. So depending upon the type of drop 8 they got, that could be you, me, or whoever. And so that opened it up for a lot of guys. But then I think when that happens, though, there's just a natural confidence that comes with just, hey, man, I threw it to this dude, he made a play, I'm going to look for him next time. It just kind of becomes that. So I think it started the other way, it kind of ended the way you're saying, just to renew confidence in the guys that he had.
I know a win would improve y'all's record this Saturday, but getting a win this Saturday, what would it mean for the morale of this team, considering the struggles y'all have been facing so far?
Yeah, they're hungry for it. I think everyone is. I know our fans are. Our coaches are. I mean, you can go on. And so I think to keep we started talking about confidence and belief, and to keep that belief and to keep that confidence in the fight and search for a win when you've come so close at times, I think is really that's where we're at. That's the challenge, And I think, if you're separated from just this, and this obviously is a huge deal and all of it, but I mean, there's going to be times when all these boys are all grown up, and there's going to be, opportunities where you want to be able to persevere and push through, and when it don't look like it's going to be, or it's the whatever odds are stacked against and all this other thing, I think it's just way important to stay focused and to continue to get up, continue to give your best, to continue to try to achieve. And I think that's been the message. And so far, so good with that. The energy and the execution this past week has been good.
Big E's added a big presence to the defensive line. Aside from just being a big human being, what has he added to that defensive line group and kind of the defense overall?
I think when he got here, was probably better at moving around than he was at kind of sitting tight, And so was someone where if you slanted and moved him, it's all of a sudden, who is that? Who is that guy? I think previously where he was at on third down, they played him as a 5 technique. So if you PFF some of his film, he's like standing up, on the edge as a 5 or a 9. It was maybe as different as that looks. That's what he was doing, and he was having some success doing it. And I think just coming in, I think early on, particularly some of the doubles and the movement, he struggled with. He would not anchor, and we almost had to kind of move other people in, people that are smaller than him, to be able to anchor and not get moved on doubles, and he's improved in that respect. I think there's still he's still got to get better, but big improvement. And so now, to have a guy that can anchor and hold the point, right, or at least learning to hold the point, but then also can move. I think we have not really tapped into that yet. We've been trying to, put our hole in the leak, so to speak. I think if we can make it all a strength, that can really flip some things around.
You've touched on it a little bit, but what are some of the biggest challenges facing this Tech team?
I think offensively they found a good rhythm, a fair amount of boundary rail passes. They get 3 guys in the boundary and run verts, and similar to what we talked about, if it's zone, they sit it down, and so it makes it difficult. A lot of screen and goes. And once you get in the red zone, and so the trick plays, I think we saw however many 5 of them versus BYU a couple of weeks ago, and so very similar in that respect too. And I think defensively they're playing hard, improved, and so they're playing with an edge to them. And I think special teams is an aggressive unit too, and so I think you put on their tape and you see an aggressive team that plays confident, and so what a challenge for us.
Dave, what have you seen from Sawyer in these 4 games, just in terms of settling in, growing, those kinds of things?
Yeah, I think for him, like the leadership part, I think going back to when it was going to be this quarterback or that quarterback, I think all of that's hard, and when that's not you 2 times. And then I think when it does become you and you take the reins and you do your thing, it's almost kind of independent of just, hey, this is my thing now. You just kind of think, hey, this is a job I got to do, this is what I got to do. And so you do have to settle into, hey, this is my thing now, right? I'm not renting this, I own it now. And so I think that I do believe that takes a little bit, even though everyone was waiting for him to do that. I think he's been able to do that. I think he's done that with his play. Some of the runs that you've seen him run, the emotion that he's shown for other guys making plays and whatnot. And he's shown it being up in the film room, watching tape all the time, getting guys to come watch tape. And then he's shown it, we had competition today of 2-minute back and forth, defense and offense, and offense got the better in the first half, and defense was able to come back in the second half, and he goes over the defense because guys wait to respond, all sort of thing. And so he's the guy that's going across and doing all of it, and so I think he's very well adjusted. He always was a leader, but he's taken that role of the leader, and that's really good to see. Okay. Thank you, guys.